Hi guys, and welcome back to this tutorial. So in this section we're going to start to remove some light and add some point lights instead. So the first thing you might notice is that we have a directional light in the level. So again we're going to remove this light to start with. Actually, before I even do that, I'm going to add a roof first. Actually, that's the first thing I will do. So again, I'm going to go to the ground here and duplicate this ground, Apple D or Control D. So again, it will create a brand new object that I will rename roof, for instance. And again, just raise it up slightly. Okay, so again, that should actually close the actual maze nicely. Now I'm going to lower it so that there is no light going through. That should be fine. Okay, and what I should do also is maybe change the actual color for both. So again, I'm going to select the roof, select the ground, and then maybe introduce some field called roof tiles, or maybe I could just use tiles instead. So again, I'm gonna actually the tiles are there already, so I could just use them instead. So take the roof, take the wall, and apply the tile here. Okay, so again, this is your tile there. All right, and if you look inside, that's what you will see. Okay, so again, that's pretty much done. Okay, actually it doesn't seem to, yeah, it hasn't been applied to the wall, so again to the ground, so again put the tile right there. Perfect. Okay, so get tiles there. Then I will remove the light, so again directional light will go. So you can see it's becoming a bit darker. And then what I will remove is the ambient light. So again, the ambient light is the light that is by default used in the level. So again, you can go to Windows, rendering and lighting. So there are a few things we can do. If you go to environment here, the first thing is you can remove the skybox. So you can delete, so press delete to start with. And then you have the source of the light is the skybox right now. So you're going to use color instead. And for the color, we're going to use a dark color. That's it. So we are it's entirely dark. Okay, so that's done. So once this is done, now we have a complete darkness for the maze. We're going to start to add a few spotlights. All right, so just for the time being, I'm going to add a bit of light just to see what I'm doing. And again, just make sure the roof is not visible so that I can put my lights easily using the Y view here. Okay, so again here what I'm going to do is quite simple. So I'm going to go to game object and again light, and I'm gonna use spotlights. All right, so again this is a spotlight here, so I'm gonna add a few of those, but before, oh, I don't want to rotate it. So again, before I move this light, what I want to do is to increase its range. So I'm gonna put maybe 50 instead. Okay, and again what you should see is that if I remove the directional light, you should see that this near this spotlight should be actually lit up a small bit. Okay, so again, okay, let me check that again. So again, you've got the spotlight there. I'm going to put a bit more light in here. Where is my spotlight? There. So again, if I move it slightly, even there, change the colors and the spot angle, which is there. The spot height, I'm going to put 100. And again, what I will do is take this spotlight. Now, what I need to check is that it's around above the ground, because otherwise I will not be able to see it. And I think that's what's kind of partly happening at the moment. So again, my spotlight is there. I'm going to make sure that I don't really need this rotation anyway, and I'm gonna raise it just above the ground. That's it. Okay, so again it was just below the ground, so there was no way I'm gonna see it. All right, again this is my spotlight. Now what I could do is rotate it around the x-axis, perfect, and raise it up. All right, so that's my spotlight. And again, the range is a bit too high, so maybe a bit of 50 might be fine. And what I will do is again stay on the y-axis, zoom out a small bit, and now I should be able to duplicate the spotlight several times. So duplicate, and move the duplicate maybe somewhere here, for instance. And what you can do is start to duplicate. Now there are spotlights. What I could have done instead is use point light, because the point light will actually emit light in all directions. So what I could do as well is go to game object, light, and sorry, point light there. Okay, and okay, no, it's not spotlight, point light. So again, game object, light, light, and then point light. Okay, so that's a point light, which is a bit different. And again here, if I zoom in, you should see that I have a point light. Now again, I need to make sure it is above the ground. Oh, okay, so that should be fine. And then I could use a range maybe of 30. Okay, and now again I can duplicate this point light using Apple D or Control D, and again maybe add one there, control, oh, sorry, yeah, again, and duplicate. All right, so again put it there, and maybe here. So once this is done, again you can use both point light and spotlight. The only difference is that the difference is that the point light will actually illuminate in all directions. Okay, so if I play my scene, what you should see is that the actual maze is dark, but with areas that are brighter than others, and that's due to the spotlights and the point light. Okay, so again, it's going to take a few seconds, and just after that, we should be able to see the environment with this light. So again, I'm going to wait for a few more seconds there. Sorry, I just had to stop the game because my first person control was too far away from the light. So what I've done is selected the first control and moved it very close to the light so you can see the effect right away. And what I'm going to do as well is put the roof back as well for complete darkness, okay? And now we should be ready to go. So if I play this scene effectively, what I should have is I should see the player, and now you can see that you have few dark areas. So again, we can see that we have, this is a point light, and the other one in front of it is a spotlight. Okay, so again, two different type of lights, which were interesting. And again, you can see that now this kind of a maze has different areas with both darkness and light as well. Okay, so it's quite interesting. Okay, so what you need to do now basically is to add a few more point lights in your level to reveal or to hide sections of this maze.